He's never fought us. Not us united.
My favorite moment in the entire... Maybe I should complicate this before I start speaking here.
Welcome to Under Two Capes. I'm Jared. I'm here with Nick from the Phoenix Press. What's up, dude?
Nothing. I feel like rewriting a movie today.
Yeah, so for those of you... So today's topic, we're going to rewrite BVS. Now, to be clear, we both are big fans of this movie. There's nothing really wrong with the movie. It's just what we're going to do is we're going to try... Well, let me put it this way. We enjoy it. It's not like we're doing this because we hate the movie. We're doing it to maybe see if, because I'll admit there are some parts of BVS that could be done a lot better. So we're going to try and do that. By the way, it's opportune that we're talking about BVS today because I happened to pick up in the mail the Hot Toys Wonder Woman from BVS. So my Trinity is actually complete now. I wanted the BVS one because they didn't re-release for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I wanted the one with the sword and the shield and not just the lasso like a wuss for Patty Jenkins. It's got the BVS base, and actually the Batman Superman crest actually flips up. It's just they can't do that when the figure's actually on the base.
Nice.
All right. So we're talking about BVS. So a couple of things. And this started because Nick and I were having a conversation last night about Doomsday's use in the movie and about how Doomsday's not really a villain that you like do like the third act of a movie only and it's done. He has to be set up, which is exactly the way they did in the comics. Because for those of you that don't know, when they did the Death of Superman comics, most of them would end with all of a sudden like a fist smacking against a wall. So you were like, the hell is this guy? Then he showed up and killed Superman. So,
well, it's even more than that. Like,
yeah,
Doomsday, his rampage not only lasted like multiple issues, it ran across multiple comics, and also he was in like the spacesuit first, and it slowly got torn away, and he saw more and more of him until the final one where he was in the Superman comic where they had that final climactic battle. You know, it was very much a build-up.
Yeah. So we're gonna do our first point is we're gonna go with the original villain for BVS, because for those of you that don't know, remember that dude that like lost his legs in the Black Zero event? Well, he was supposed to become Metallo, which when you think about it is a fantastic motivation for someone to become Metallo and hate Superman. So here you go. But Nick had another very interesting idea to motivate Batman to hate Superman, and it involves one of the Robins. So Nick, do you want to explain to the fine people watching at home and listening on their phones what your idea was?
All right. So before we do that, I also wanted to say we're splitting this movie into two parts.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
I also wanted to establish that. So the first part is literally Man of Steel 2. All right. And the second part is Batman versus Superman. And so Batman does not appear in Man of Steel 2, but Bruce Wayne does.
Yeah.
So like a lot of like the infiltration of the Lex Luthor party, you know, basically you got that kind of stuff. That still happens. Basically, the reason for that is after Jason Todd got killed by the Joker, Dick Grayson was really his only link to humanity. Okay, it was the only thing keeping him from really going off the deep end. All right. And so the attack on Metropolis happens, and Dick Grayson is the one who's posted at Wayne Metropolis. So you see like him like so basically you see him like talking to that guy who you don't really care about.
Jack,
in the movie. Yeah. That's Dick Grayson. And so Dick Grayson leads everyone outside the building, and then he gets killed, and he dies in Bruce's arms. So instead of it being like that child he grabs and looks up, it's literally Dick Grayson dying in his arms. And so at the very end, like Ripe looks up, you know, he kind of tears, you know, like, you know, he's wearing like a button-up shirt, and he kind of takes it off a little bit. You see he's wearing the Nightwing suit under it. And then he looks up, and then you see that shot.
And then the post-credit scene is exactly shot for shot the scene in BVS where he just goes down to the Batcave, walks over to his display, and opens up, and there's the Batsuit. Because at this point, Batman's been retired as Batman for a while, so
yeah, you basically get a time jump of 2 or 3 years or something.
Yeah, and then he shows, and then BVS is all the Batman parts of the Bruce Wayne part. So.
Yeah, and so basically, Bruce's whole arc of Man of Steel 2 is, I'm gonna do this as Bruce Wayne, not as Batman. And then basically some stuff happens where it's like, I can't do this as Bruce Wayne. I must be Batman.
All right, Father, I shall become a bat. So there you go. I had to. So and then so now the hardest part of this rewrite was figuring out what to do about the end of part 2, because I still want to have a Trinity fight because there's no reason not to, and it would be super cool. But the idea was, okay, so if we're not doing Doomsday, what's a villain that could be strong enough to take on the Trinity? And we thought, okay, we have like Parasite or such, and we have like, because I don't think Metallo could like pose a threat to Batman, to Superman and Wonder Woman specifically.
Oh, I have an idea.
What?
What if he's forced to kill Metallo at the end of the final fight?
He kills in every single movie.
And that's the thing that set Batman. He's trying to, like, maybe he's good. No, there's no good in him. Basically, his worst fears are confirmed. You know, maybe it's a misunderstanding of about why he kills Metallo, but it's basically a whole orchestration by Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor wants him to kill Metallo.
But wait. So does this happen at the end of the movie? Because I'm talking about the final fight. Because at the final
this is
fight,
the final fight of I'm talking about Man of Steel.
Oh yeah. That's you mean Man of Steel Part 2?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that works. And then that and the Dick Grayson thing is what tells him, okay, now I've tried this as Bruce Wayne, it didn't work. Now I got to break out the other guy.
Yeah.
And then pretty much like that epic Batmobile part, him getting the kryptonite. That's pretty much the exact same as BVS.
He literally gets it from Metallo's grave. He rips out Metallo's kryptonite heart.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had to.
You thought BVS was edgy. Watch out! It's got a lot more edgy.
Yeah, Superman's gonna kill a lot more people. So
no, you get Batman digging up Metallo and ripping out his kryptonite heart, and that's what he uses.
Yes. So then, and essentially the Wonder Woman plot remains the same because it's Lex Luthor stealing a picture of her, and pretty much the other change that I would do, the post-credit scene of BVS is her going through the computer and seeing the clips of all the Justice League members. So in other words, it goes straight to Justice League.
I don't know. I always thought that kind of scene was. I mean, as a post-credit scene, it probably works better, but like as a scene in the movie, it's just kind of cheap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Make it a post-credit scene because it doesn't really do much.
As a post-credit scene, I think it definitely works better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it leads into Justice League perfectly well. So there's gonna be 2 post-credit scenes. The last one is going to be the Wonder Woman scene, the Justice League. So
what's the mid-credit scene?
The mid-credit scene would be like essentially, you know how like Lex Luthor kind of went crazy at the end of BVS and was talking about the bell's already been rung. You could kind of have like Darkseid is speaking in his mind saying, I will come for my great prize.
Because if I remember correctly, that scene was only in the other version.
No, it wasn't it was in both versions of BVS.
Okay.
This is coming from a guy that only saw the other version when I specifically told him to watch the Ultimate Cut.
I've seen Ultimate version, you click.
All right, yeah, but
You just acknowledge I struggled there for a moment because like I was gonna like say something naughty, but I censored myself because you're my friend.
Thank you. So for the final fight, honestly, I would go with Parasite because here's why. Parasite's not a villain you could just punch. And I think that it would encourage them to work together more. I
disagree.
Okay.
I think the final final fight should be with Amazo.
Okay, you know what? That's way better. That because I was trying to find out
Amazo,
battle.
you can set up literally at the post credit scene for Man of Steel 2 is the reveal of Amazo.
Yeah, because they already talk about metahumans exist, and Lex wants like a contingency plan in case for the metahumans, and Mazo's the best one. Plus the fact it requires minimal setup, and the fact that is if there's a Justice League villain that's powerful enough to take on Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, it's Amazo. It is 100% Amazo.
Yeah, and you can have basically the post credit scene is the reveal that they're building Amazo. Kind of thing.
And by the way,
and you can have Ivan Otto or whatever his name is.
Yeah, because he's in BVS. In case you guys don't know, the scene where Lex Luthor is basically talking about a kryptonite bullet and is essentially talking about taking out Superman, and is talking to the senators about his father and stuff, waving a flower at tyrants. That the scientist who explains the effects kryptonite had on Zod, that's the creator of Amazo. So the building blocks are there. Yeah. And then essentially what would happen, it would be a Trinity versus Amazo fight, and that would be actually pretty cool. And it would make more sense as to why like he's using like heat vision, because it never made sense. Why does well, I guess it does make a little sense that Doomsday in that context would have heat vision because they made Doomsday from Zod. Yeah, which makes perfect. It always made perfect sense to me. Yeah, the whole blast, the whole explosion after he expels energy. That was the only part where I was like, okay, so can Superman do that too? That'd be cool. But anyway, yeah. Now I think about it, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And essentially, we could also like tease that like Lex Luthor has been talking to like Steppenwolf and Darkseid throughout this movie to kind of lead into Justice League, because that's also the implication. The other thing is, you could say that Amazo is powered by kryptonite. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. What you could say is he has our powers, but he also has our weaknesses. Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. Basically saying the only way to kill Amazo is with. So basically, you're getting the same. If you want to kill Superman, which I don't think you should do, but if you wanted to do that, you could. But basically saying the only way to do it is when he's mimicking Superman powers, he also has the weakness to kryptonite at that time. Yeah, and hence the kryptonite spear through the chest thing. Now, let's say how would so is that's if we didn't kill if we did kill Superman. Let's talk about how we would do this if we didn't kill Superman, like how we would lead into Justice League and everything. Because remember, part of the crux of the formation of the Justice League is that Superman's dead. I would probably, I don't know, like, would it even be better to just put him in a coma, being like, oh, he could come back, like, kind of, I don't know. We could just do the Kryptonian healing coma and actually say, like, he's not dead, his cells are just dormant or something like that. You're getting the same effect as if he's dead, so I don't even know if it's even that better of an idea. What we could do is like have like a scene where like all of a sudden, like during the fight, a boom tube opens and like Omega beams like shoot out, and like maybe that like injures Superman or something. That's kind of cheap, honestly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have an idea. What if afterwards he gets this yearning to see Krypton? You're basically getting a Superman Returns plot. So basically, right after the fight, he's like, I must know. And then he flies off and tries to find Krypton. And basically he's off planet, and basically they form the Justice League, but a lot of the only way to send a signal that would reach Superman is to use a mother box. Okay, that works. Yeah. So that's I'm rejiggering things. So that's pretty much how you can keep the plot of Justice League pretty much the same, except Superman is not dead. So I see that would work. Yeah, I'm trying to just make the pieces fit. Or like, not even Krypton, because remember in Man of Steel, Jor-El says that they had these outposts. So it could be Cal just wants to go and see if there are any other outposts with any other surviving Kryptonians, and this is how we get Supergirl. Possibly, but like I think actually in Man of Steel,
Zod said they actually went to all the outposts and they were all gone. He said that directly to Superman.
Oh,
So I
okay.
think Superman knows.
I got it. Superman receives is in that ship that basically became the Fortress of Solitude, and all of a sudden it like picks up a signal that's Kara, and then he saves her ship as she's like floating through space.
Or hear me out. What if he receives a signal, but it's from Daxon?
And you do like Mon-El, like Sodom Yat or something like that.
Because Daxon is not technically an outpost, but it's made up of but they're similar to Kryptonians.
Mm-hmm. They're pretty much an offshoot of Kryptonians, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of like how America was originally made up of former British colonists.
Yeah,
Kind of thing. Like we're not really we share a lot culturally in a lot. We're made up of more than that, but it's like we're Americans, but like we a lot of us derive from British or French or whatever.
So pretty much, would you make Kara a Daxamite then?
That would be an interesting twist, but then you lose the cousin aspect.
Yeah. So that's
I think
why.
your first idea was better. Probably what happens is after the fight, he goes to the ship, and he's like, "Is there anyone out there?" And the ship says, "There is one." And you go, beep, beep, and also, this is what I would do. The Sputnik beep, from the beep, beep.
Mm-hmm.
I would directly use the Sputnik beep for Lakia, where they're tracking the dog in space from the 50s. That's a sound effect I would use.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
it would just be a nice touch.
The thing is that Kara's already on Earth. Here's how I know this. Because in the Man of Steel prequel comic that they did, she was on that ship that crash landed. That open crash, I believe, is Kara. But let's assume that's not that. Let's ignore that for right now and go with our idea, because I like our idea more. And what if when he intercepts her that's why he's more comfortable going to try and find the remnants of Krypton, because he's like, Kara, you stay here and like help out in my stead while I go take care of this.
No.
All right. Yeah, I was like, yeah, he's not into it.
Because if you introducing Supergirl is requiring a whole reworking, because you gotta like introduce her, it's just plus I honestly think at the end of BVS, where he's like he feels alone and whatnot, and he finds out there is one Kryptonian, it's enough motivation for him to leave the planet and try and find her.
Okay, so
which basically means Justice League, he comes back with Supergirl.
Yeah, they both show up and they're both not impressed. That'd be so good. We're not impressed, and they both like beat the crap out of Steppenwolf. That would be super cool. So you can put a Man of Steel 3 before Justice League, and the Man of Steel 3 is the search for Kara.
No, the Man of Steel 3 is Doomsday.
Okay, that's better.
But subverting expectations. Right when it's like see Supergirl, but like she doesn't want to be any part of this. But like right before, like he sees that Superman's getting pummeled, so that's when she goes to action, saves her cousin, and Superman does not die, but he is injured.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. He's like injured enough that like a couple hours in the sun will help him out, but he's not he's not dead.
So it basically takes him out of the fight for like the first part of it, where it's like he's injured, like gravely injured, to the point where like his powers are not really working, and Kara is not as powerful, not as experienced.
Mm-hmm.
So like they need to find a way to heal Clark.
Mm-hmm. There you go. That works. That works a lot better than. So in other words, we didn't have to.
James Gunn, please hire us as a writing team.
Oh yeah, we'll do it all for free. You don't have to pay me anything.
I mean, you'll have to pay me, but that's all good.
Yeah, but
you could pay me in rides in the Batmobile.
Yeah, exactly. You could pay me in free crap from the SnyderVerse. Take all the props of the SnyderVerse and just give me all of them. I'll take them. I'll make a fan film with all the props. That's essentially Project Justice except in live action.
How crazy would it be if like they knew like, oh, we're going to Los Angeles, you know, we might meet with Warner Brothers, and like the next episode there's like another trident sitting next to that one, and it's Atlan's trident. Like, oh,
there's a bat suit behind me.
And it's like, oh, nice Atlan's trident. Oh yeah, that's actually the prop from Aquaman.
Yeah, it's like somehow I like con them into saying, hey, can I have like Superman's suit, maybe? No, the Halloween episode is us actually in like the Superman suit, the Batman suit, and all that.
No, even better. They take you to the costume department and they fit you for a Superman suit that like is made for you.
Dude, that would be like the biggest like please. That would be like the biggest oh my gosh. If I got my own form fitted Superman suit, that would be dope as hell. Particularly if it's the costume quality of the movies.
No, they use the actual materials and it's made by the same people.
And then as an added bonus, spend the day with Zack Snyder. Be like, yes, let's do this, Zack. I swear, if I ever have Zack on the show, I am going to beg him, can you just record a thing that says, hi, I'm Zack Snyder and you're watching Comics League?
I was literally just thinking that.
I'm like, please, I will pay you for this. Can you just do this one thing for me, please? He'll do it. I'm like, please.
I have a feeling he'd do it for free. You know?
I know he would do it for free, but I'm just like, can you please just do it? This will be like
that in front of every episode.
That's gonna be my new. That's gonna play before the intro I have for all my videos. Can you imagine? So someone shows up. Oh, okay, so 450 subscriber channel. This is Zack Snyder, and you're watching Comics League.
I'm telling you, bro. We keep growing. You will have that.
Eventually, Zack Snyder will be on the channel. He'll go on small channels too. It doesn't really matter. So I'm like, yes, eventually it'll happen. Be on the lookout for that. But anyway,
just imagine. Also, if we do get Zack Snyder, we have to do it live because.
Oh yes.
Oh my God.
That's gonna be a live.
3,000. That you'll have 3,000 people.
That is definitely, particularly if I get him to retweet it out. That is going to be a live event. Trust me. That and EVS is going to be a live event.
I would wait to do that until after you get 1,000 because imagine the super chats.
Oh yeah. Drop your comments on questions you want to ask Zack Snyder. It's all like super chats. Eventually, I end up with like $3,000 in super chats.
Oh, $3,000, more like 10K, I say.
Oh yeah. But anyway, back to this. But yeah, that's a fantastic idea. That would be so funny. But back to
it. Imagine if we get like other people like Ray Fisher on the show.
That could probably happen. Ray Porter. Okay, if all of a sudden I go, we have a surprise guest, and then I let him in, and it's Henry frickin' Cavill, I will die a happy boy.
Oh, I'll be wearing my Witcher necklace then.
And I'm gonna ask him, can you say not impressed? Actually, the intro will be Jay Heat's old intro. Here's a hint of who the guest is. Not impressed. Yep, there you go.
And then also like behind the scenes, I'm gonna get him this. I'm gonna have him say, "You, Jared." like we're gonna explain the thing to him like we use the like the FU bar kind of thing. I'm censoring myself. I'm sorry. But like. Well, thankfully, this is recorded, so you just have to bleep that one.
But by the way,
but just I think once we explain that to him, he'd be happy to say,
he'll do it.
You, Jared.
And then I need to get Jason Momoa on the show and go, can you go, my man? Thank you. So anyway, and by the way, I will also have Ray Porter, the voice of Darkseid. He'll go. I'll alternate between him and Zack on videos. I'll have him go, this is Darkseid, and you are watching Comics League.
No, even better. It's like, ready the Armada. We'll watch Comics League.
There you go. All right, so anyway, back to the clip. So essentially, don't do like the death of Superman for Doomsday, kind of change it, because whenever you see like Doomsday show up in a movie, you know Superman's going to die. So that'll be a nice way to like sort of change like we said, flip the script.
like you know, these directors talk about subverting expectations. This is how you subvert expectations, and it's in a way that's earned, because like you have Supergirl. You know, wait, crap, because so the final villain of Justice League is going to be Doomsday.
No, for Justice League, it's going to be pretty much the same. Steppenwolf / Darkseid. The final villain for Man of Steel 3.
Oh, okay. Because like there's going to be Man of Steel 2, Batman v Superman, Man of Steel 3,
and then Justice League. Well, and by the way, for the Doomsday fight, we are the first the first act of the whole movie is going to be the Doomsday fight, and then the first like act or two is going to be him destroying the Justice League, because you have to do that to establish how powerful Doomsday is. That's what the comic did well, and what the animated DeCamu movie did really well.
Okay, I'm sorry. My gears are kind of turning, because at the end of BVS he leaves. So what if you had a parallel action thing going on, to where Doomsday is coming to Earth and he's rampaging, and they have to bring him back?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I still want. I don't know. Because like I still want.
And
we can talk about it later.
And here's how you do Doomsday. Here's how you do Doomsday, and use it to tease Darkseid. Darkseid. We make it so Doomsday is not Zod's body. Doomsday was created by Darkseid and sent to Earth to weaken Earth's defenses before the invasion.
Okay.
Because they've done that in the comics.
Okay, actually, screw Man of Steel 3. At the end of Man of Steel 2, Lex Luthor is talking to Darkseid. It's like I will weaken them, and then you see him. You see a canister launch, and then you see canister like boom. Boom!
Yeah, the
boom.
Boom tube opens, the canister lands right there.
Screw the canister. It just falls to Earth like a meteorite, and then you start to see boom, and like the last shot is like you see the impression of like the claws of Doomsday.
Yeah, the last so what happens is that the meteorite lands. All of a sudden, you start hearing boom, boom, boom. The last shot is the fist comes out, and you see like the spiky protrusions on the fist.
No, you don't even see the claws. And then you see the tagline, "Doomsday is coming."
Yeah, there you go. Like Bendis is coming,
and that's Man of Steel 2. Basically, they're all those plot stuff, but Doomsday is like, as the movie goes, like you might hear like in the like, oh, like something landed, blah blah blah, and you see them fighting, and so the reason they have to stop fighting is because of Doomsday. So it's not as contrived. You don't get the Save Martha stuff. You basically have, maybe even Wonder Woman shows up and stops them fighting. It's like, why are you fighting? There's something, greater threat. I mean, we kind of refine it, but like, I think that would be a better motivation for them to stop fighting, that of like Doomsday ravaging stuff, than just the whole Save Martha stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, in terms of
you can have Wonder Woman break it up.
Yeah, in terms of the Save Martha thing, we can always change that to, if we're going with Dick Grayson being dead, we have it where Lex kidnaps Lois, and Lois is pregnant with, and Tevy's gonna love this, John Kent, and then she goes, you're letting him kill my son. I'm saying if you wanted to keep that part, because that was one of the things that we came up with yesterday.
I just think in this scenario, like having the greater threat be Doomsday, and they realize that, I think
that's better.
Or even have Doomsday pop up in the fight, and then they have to stop the fight or whatever. Like there's
Doomsday's fight. All of a sudden, so during the fight, Wonder Woman gets like launched through a wall, and she's like, "Can you guys help me with this?" And then Doomsday shows up.
That's too sudden. There's no build up. It's kind of cheap.
Okay, that makes sense.
Sorry.
That makes sense. But I definitely just want one scene where Wonder Woman's like, "Can you guys? Okay, are you guys done now? Can you help me with this?" Because during that movie, what I loved about Wonder Woman is that her attitude, because she's like, you know, it's true what they say about little boys born with no natural inclination to share.
Oh, that line is so cringe.
But it's true.
Sorry.
But I'm like, okay, no, I like that. And essentially, I want because when Wonder Woman shows up in like DC, actually, you know what? In Justice League: The Last Ride, Batman and Superman are feuding, and it goes, and then Wonder Woman goes, "Can you guys act like mature adults for once in your life right now? Thank you. Can we just go do this now? Okay, let's go."
She really is a bit. I will admit, Wonder Woman really is a big sister to those two.
Oh yeah, she definitely is. Or like girlfriend to one and big sister to the other bat-shaped one.
You're trying to avoid super cest, aren't you?
Oh yeah, because don't make it creepy.
Also, I just created a new term.
No, you didn't, because we're not going to adopt that.
Super cest.
All right, so we've lost connection to Nick for some reason. So anyway,
all right. Get your ready in 3, 2.
All right. Okay, there you go. It's fine. But the point is that at some point, Wonder Woman breaks them up and says, "There's a monster attacking. Can you guys come help me with this?" And then it's kind of funny. Batman's already in the BVS like armored suit, so he'd be kind of prepared to fight a Doomsday creature. In other words, if she stops him right there during that fight between Batman and Superman, Batman doesn't have to just hang back with the grenade launcher, which was cool though. But because that's so Batman, he shows up with a grenade launcher and goes, I'm still fighting." But this time he like goes, "Okay, I have the spear. Okay, let's go fight him."
Yeah. I still think they should have just gotten Wonder Woman to run that spear. You know, like I mean, if worse comes to worse, I'm sure she could have had Superman hold the lasso.
Well, they needed some way for Superman to get killed. So
I mean,
we're not
I get
doing
that. I get that, but like in that scenario, they easily could have had Wonder Woman run the spear.
Well, now we can do that. So we're gonna do it in this scenario where, like, let's say like Superman charges Doomsday like normal, but he gets knocked out. But like he gets like knocked away or something like that. The spear is in the air. Wonder Woman grabs it and just stabs into Doomsday.
I'm imagining that with all the Zack Snyder-y goodness.
Yes. It's in slow motion because you know Snyder would do like the catch is in slow motion, and then she does the Wonder Woman scream that she had BVS. She's like, "Ah!" Yes, exactly. No. The catch.
No. Here's how it would do it. You'd have the do
on the charge,
and then as soon as she catches it, you know that's when you bring in that part. I'm weird.
Yeah, and then Batman and then that whole defeating of Doomsday inspires Batman and Superman to go, "Okay, you know what? Can we just not fight? Because we did a great job defeating a giant monster together. So let's just do that." And then that inspires the formation of the Justice League. It starts with the Trinity.
And then you have that shot from Justice League where it's like, okay, we're gonna have tables here and then room for more.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna have, yeah, exactly.
Or
they say it's like room for more.
Yeah, and they say we're gonna need if we're gonna and then they realize Darkseid's coming. It's like we're gonna need more people.
Yes, exactly. We're gonna need a lot more chairs.
Yeah, and then they, basically you still get the recruiting, but Superman's there.
Mm-hmm. And then by the
also
way,
in Justice League, Martian Manhunter is part of the league. I'm sorry, but
yes.
I think one of the faults of Zack Snyder's Justice League is the fact that Martian Manhunter is there but doesn't do anything. Like, come on, he was
doing something. League. Okay, do you mind if I refute that real quick? All right,
please, by all means.
What did okay? So let's go back. So assuming we now know that Swanwick was Martian Manhunter the whole time, correct?
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about what he did in Man of Steel. He was encouraging the people to trust Superman so that they could accomplish the plan.
He was not very trusting of Superman in Man of Steel.
Well, for the actual plan of like, okay, so we're going to take the ship and like do that. In other words, he was still helping, going to BVS. He stopped. He essentially he did more than you think. He was helping more from like the shadows. Like he was helping Lois with the investigation.
Yes. BVS, yes, I agree. Man of Steel, I disagree a little bit, but by BVS, yes, he's on Team Superman by BVS.
Yeah, in other words, because here's the thing, and I actually heard someone fantastically explain this. No, here's why Martian Manhunter did it that way. Because remember, it harkens back to John Kent's, and by John Kent I mean Jonathan Kent, Tevye. Jonathan Kent's words last in Man of Steel about like they're gonna fear you. You have to like use your powers in like a very smart way. So Martian Manhunt, until Superman showed up, you notice none of the other superheroes came forward that they're superheroes. They're all hiding. Where Superman was the first one to actually like be a superhero openly, so that inspired them to come forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the world at this point, you have to remember this is different than it is in the comics or like the classic movies, where if you have like characters that can like shapeshift, especially, you're not gonna trust the mankind's not gonna trust them inherently.
Like Batman had been active for like 20 years, but he was still in the shadows.
And remember, in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, when Martian Manhunter first showed up, they locked him up.
Justice League New Frontier, they did the same thing.
Yeah. So that's why, by the way, in Flash, they lock up Supergirl. I'm so happy that happens in the movie because that validates what John Kent said in Man of Steel. So I'm like, see, that's what would have happened to Clark had he saved a father from the tornado. Granted, that scene could have been done a lot better. We'll do rewriting Man of Steel in a future one, but
yeah, that one doesn't require as much work. I'm gonna spoil alert. There's really not much to change.
Yeah, in other words, what we could do is like do a short video where we just rewrite that tornado scene. Because I'll admit to you, that tornado scene could have been done a whole lot better. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Let's take care of that scene now. How I would have essentially had like a sinkhole.
You need to change the subtitle.
Okay, we've essentially rewritten Man of Steel, so this will turn into us rewriting the frickin' SnyderVerse. But rewriting Man of Steel. Now, to be clear, again, we both love Man of Steel. We're just saying there are some parts that could have been done a little better.
That tornado scene is crap.
All right, so let's redo the tornado scene. The first thing I would do is like have some barrier between Clark and his father, so there's no way he could save him without revealing to everyone that he's Superman.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to engage my gears.
Yeah, that's fine. Like maybe
so
like a sinkhole happens.
So the whole purpose of that scene is to kill John Kent, but also to impress the secrecy.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's meant to be a payoff for the whole conversation of should I have saved the people on the bus? That's the whole point of that tornado scene. It's meant to be a follow up to that conversation about the bus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think we agree on that. Like, should I have saved them? Yes, no, I don't know. That's the whole. Yes, one of the themes.
Yeah.
What I would do is basically have him stuck under a car to where, yes, Clark could have very easily had lifted it up. Oh, no. What it is he's pinned under a car to where a normal human would not have been able to lift it up, but Clark could have been able to do it very easily.
It's like there's like a bunch of cars like on top of him, not crushing him, obviously, but there's like he's covered in cars essentially,
or he's pinned or whatever. You know, it's basically the situation is there's an object pinning him down where a normal human would not be able to lift it, but Clark with his powers could. He's right there. They're having that conversation. He's like, "Dad, I can do this. I can do this." No, Clark. No, just go. They'll see you. That I think makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
There's because like you basically have it to where it's very clear a normal human, and it's basically to where they don't even need, like, if he lifts it up, people will see it, and it's very obvious he has powers.
Yeah.
It's like, look at them. There is no hiding from this. There's only one, just go. And then basically, it makes the scene even more powerful because then Clark has to make the choice to turn his back onto his father and run back.
Yeah, that works. So the way I would do it, I like your way. The way I would do it too is I would have the scene play out similarly, but I would also have like maybe like a sinkhole happens that creates a divide between Clark and his father. So you're making it obvious that it's like it's far enough that no human could possibly jump across or something like that. So in other words, it's kind of like creating a situation where no human could possibly accomplish this, and essentially you keep the whole no, don't do it because this and everything.
I don't know. I like my version better because it allows them to have a bit of a more of a private moment, like an actual conversation. Because like with this one, they can't really have a conversation. With this one, you get a little bit more of a moment.
The problem is, remember, at this point in the movie, when John is pinned, Clark's already on the other side of the street.
Well, we're rewriting the scene anyway, so we can
that's fine.
So that he's able to get there without being seen.
Well, actually, Superman has super hearing, so it could be just John saying, "No, don't do this. They'll see you." But I gotta say, I like the idea of Clark turning his back and having to run back. I really like that.
What it is, and you can see, like, you can have the smoke stuff where he was able to get there because of super speed, because of all the smoke and whatnot. But if he lifts it, they'll see it. And he says, "When they see what you can do, it will change the world." And that is like the phrase that's like the theme. When they see what you can do, and in that scene, it's not your time. It's not your time, Clark. When they see what you can, and then that kind of compounds the themes to where when you get the flying scene, it's like you have him in the head. It's like, it's your time, Clark.
In Justice League, exactly when he says, "Fly, son, it's time."
No, I think that was in Man of Steel.
No, that was in no. In Man of Steel, that was Jor-El saying you'll be able to accomplish all these things. They will join you in the sun. The "Fly, son, it's time" is in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Well, it's happening in Man of Steel now.
Damn it! All right, that's fine.
Because if I do it like this thematically, it just builds. It's a building thematic. Because it's all about. Because to me, it's all about when you're ready, when it's your time to shine. And then by that point, it is Clark's time to shine.
And he's wearing the suit too.
Yeah, he's wearing the super suit. And so, like, it's all, I'm just trying to build off the theme. I'm sorry.
And by the way, at one point, like, going back to BVS real quick, I still want like something to happen to the regular suit, so Clark can at least wear the black suit for like a movie, because that's a gorgeous suit. Because I don't want to waste that hot toy.
Well, in this timeline, that hot toy doesn't exist, so
it still would. But
I just snapped it out of existence.
It's still here, but like, you should see a bunch of dust go across my screen. Oh no! But yeah, that's a fantastic idea. I love your idea way more than mine, because it hammers in that point. Plus, it's more of Clark is forced to. It's more of Clark is forced to like not save someone because the consequences are there. It's like when people were complaining about John Kent saying, maybe when Clark says, what was it supposed to do? Just let them die? And John said, maybe. Some people took that to mean maybe you should let them die. I'm like, no, what John Kent was actually saying was, choose your moment wisely. He basically said, I can't tell you what to do. It's your decision.
Like, this moment builds off of that scene.
Yeah.
It builds off of that.
Still does, 100%.
It's like I'm like, it's basically him choosing to die. It's him, Also, the thing is, it also is more powerful because in the original, Clark makes a choice by virtue of inaction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he just doesn't do anything. Well, this one, he's actually making a choice to actually make an action of walking away.
Yeah,
it's more powerful.
It's more of an active choice.
An active instead of passive choice. So which are always better. And the thing is, I feel like this scene would be a bridge between that school scene. Like it's a trilogy of scenes.
Yeah.
You get the bus, the conversation, this
in the
scene,
first flight.
I mean,
And by the way, take
maybe
notes. Take
maybe
notes.
you get a funeral scene with John Kent, where he's like, "I could have saved him. I could have saved him," and then Martha says, "It just wasn't your time, son." And then you get the whole, it's your time, son.
And then the end of Man of Steel, I would end with him at the John Kent's gravesite going, "You were right, father, and I will do you proud." And he's in the Superman suit or something like that.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so this is the last scene of the movie. He's like, "You're right, father. I will do you proud." And then his super hearing, he hears something going on. So he starts to run off.
And then I would end, it's corny as hell, but I would end with someone going, "Look, it's a bird, it's a plane, no, it's," and then it just ends with Man of Steel or like Superman.
No, what I would do it is like, "Was that a bird? Was that a plane? No, it's..."
No, I wouldn't end with them. I wouldn't do the Christopher Reeves music because remember, this is in a world where Justice League never happened.
I get that. I couldn't help myself.
That's fine. That's fine. It's totally fine. You're allowed to like what you like. And plus, let me put it this way: I'll admit the Reeves Superman theme is fantastic. I'm not knocking that whatsoever.
The Man of Steel theme is pretty good too. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yes, it's because that's the theme that I grew up on, and it's totally fine if you like the other one more. That's you're right.
Yeah.
That's 100%. But anyway, yeah, that's how I would end Man of Steel. And take notes, David Goyer. Yes, it was not Zack Snyder who wrote this movie. It was David Goyer. Zack Snyder really only had an active writing moment on Zack Snyder's Justice League, and everyone admits that's the best one.
Also, in Man of Steel 2, you're gonna see Lois Lane's mother, played by Margot Kidder.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. I like that.
When did she pass away?
If you can do that, do it because it's great.
She passed away in 2018, so
yeah.
You could have had her. Like, honestly, it's like I'm glad they got the Jimmy Olsen, but it would have been like if they did a Man of Steel 2, they really should have had Margot Kidder be like Lois's mother or something.
Yeah, they could have done that.
Oh,
and I agree with you on that one. Absolutely.
Just imagine Margot Kidder showing up in Man of Steel 2.
Yeah, exactly. I'm totally fine with that. That would work fantastically. And essentially, and then
okay. Also, she finds out that like Clark Kent Superman, and she asks, "Can he read your mind?" Okay, yeah. That won't happen. That's really corny.
Wait.
So for those who don't know, that's a callback to Superman 1977, where there's like this whole scene about her. "Can you read my mind?" It's.
I got another one. It's like she's talking about like Superman's powers. I read he can wipe your memories with a kiss. Yeah, there you go. I heard he can rebuild a wall with his vision.
You're making me mad now.
I'm just saying that'd be hilarious little like Easter eggs to Christopher Reeves.
Yeah. Oh, wait. What if Margot Robbie, she's like reading a story about Superman's like, "Oh, I hear your friend Superman. Can he can you read minds or whatever?" Like just like the wild stuff they say in the papers. I think they make stuff up, and it's just all callbacks to the Reeves era. I think that could work.
And then someone says, "I read he likes to wear underwear on the outside of his costume." No, that's stupid.
You're not gonna let that go.
No, I'm never letting that go, dude. No, because it looks freaking dumb.
Well, in that case, Wonder Bat.
Oh my gosh! And then someone says, "Oh, I thought of Wonder Woman and Batman." Someone goes, "Why? That makes no sense." Yeah, I definitely want that. And by the way, in my version, Superman and Wonder Woman end up together at the end. That's my version. That movie's called Power Couple, and it's a recreation of Charles Soule's art. That's it.
All right, Warner Brothers, please do not give him the keys to the Superman franchise, please.
Oh, if I got the ties to like Superman, immediately the first thing I would do is tell them either write Lois Lane competently or get rid of her, or get rid of the marriage.
I will say, I think she's fine in the Snyderverse movie.
She's fine in the Snyderverse. She's fine in the Snyderverse and in Smallville. Those are the two, and in Superman 77. Those are the three versions where I tolerate her because she's written less abrasively.
I'll also say in the DCAU, she's fine, but she's not even romantically linked to Superman in those, which I think actually helps. You know, with her, with
She
like
kind of is, but not as heavily.
Yeah, it's also, have you ever seen Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman?
No, I haven't. I want to because it's on HBO Max and I should watch it. And by the way, the best Lois Lane line in the Snyderverse is when in BVS where she's in front of that terrorist and the dude goes, "I asked for, I said I wouldn't talk to a lady," and she goes, "I'm not a lady, I'm a journalist." And I'm like, I love that.
I will say that is a very girl power line that it just works.
That's an actual line that a journalist actually used once, actually, as a matter of fact. So that's what that's a reference to from Chris Terrio, and I'm like, it worked because 100%. Because what she's really saying is that don't think me as a woman, just think of me as a journalist. That's all you got to do.
Also, I think as far as canon goes, that guy, the photographer, was
it's not Jimmy Olsen. He's impersonating Jimmy.
He used his credentials. So the real Jimmy Olsen is still out there.
Because he even says we use your press credentials. So I'm like, of course he would have said we would have said that.
Yeah. And also the Daily Planet is so big, and you know, you could make the argument that Lois has never met Jimmy before.
Yeah, 100%. We could say that like Jimmy was on like a photography assignment in Europe when the whole Man of Steel BVS thing happened.
Or you could say that Jimmy was they contracted a photographer for this assignment, and you know, and then they gave him Daily Planet credentials. I could see that.
Yeah, there you go, 100%. But in other words, we established that Jimmy Olsen is not dead, which I get the feeling that if we got a Man of Steel 2, Zack would fix that and just say that was just a CIA guy impersonating Jimmy Olsen.
I mean, that's exactly what it was.
That's exactly what... Even though Zack, outside of it, said, oh, yeah, that's Jimmy Olsen, I thought it'd be hilarious to kill him. And I'm like, he's joking. And two, if it's not on the thing, he could always change it. It's really that simple.
Yeah, I mean, we've done streams upon streams about all this kind of stuff, so no need to rehash it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's like, there's no reason why he can't change it. He wouldn't be able to change it to Jimmy Olsen. And by the way, if we got in one of our Man of Steel movies at some point, in like a lonely action, we would recreate that scene from All-Star Superman where Superman's like, you are so much stronger than you could possibly. We absolutely have to at some point. Because you mentioned Henry Cavill doing that. Because I can't, because he has that sort of fatherly, brotherly Superman quality, and he has that calming influence. So I'm like, he could definitely pull that scene off.
I want to see the scene. What's that from where Superman talks a girl down from the ledge?
I'm talking about that exact scene. It's All-Star Superman.
Oh, okay, because that's a really
we need that.
Scene.
We in Superman Legacy, because James Gunn's been very clear. He said it's not really. He's not exactly All-Star Superman, but he's being inspired by that. So I'm like,
I could actually see that scene being in Superman Legacy as one of the early scenes. Like maybe like they don't trust him, but like instead, like basically you could have his first day of Superman is literally that scene, and then instead of like beating criminals, he saves a girl from committing suicide, and that I think that actually in this day and age would be a better first Superman scene than just beating up on criminals.
I got another one. No, he starts off like beating on criminals, and people are like, "Do you see all this property damage and everything?" Everyone's crapping on him. And then he has that one save, and he's like, "You know what? It's all worth it."
Actually, yeah, that could work. That's a good. Yeah, you win.
Thank you.
This round, Batman.
Yeah, because I think after having a crappy day and then having that one meaningful save, he's like, you know what? I can do this. It's worth it. As long as I save one.
Or it's like, oh, maybe he's not all just beating up criminals. Maybe you know, like there is kind of a point to it.
Yeah, I think that would be a fantastic way to do this. So
I'm still mad at the boys for literally desecrating that little moment.
Yeah,
Because they were very obviously riffing on that.
Yeah, there's no way you could misinterpret that. They're referencing that moment, and Homelander just pushing. I'm like, no. There are some scenes you shouldn't touch, and that's one of them.
Like the fact where he's like encouraging her to jump, and he's like, no, I'm fine. Like if you played off as like reverse psychology, then maybe that could work, you know.
But it's Homelander.
Well, what you could do is, okay, we're rewriting that scene now.
We're gonna rewrite the boys too.
Basically, he's encouraging her to jump, but then some drones start popping up, and he realizes there's cameras on them, and so he's like, oh, and, you know, where it's like, oh, where she comes down, and like, oh yeah, I use reverse psychology on him. Then he whispers in her ear, no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
And then you just see this terrified look on her face, and that's the picture.
Yeah. And then as soon as he sees that, you cut to like Queen Maeve going, no, he wasn't. Or something like that. But
no. What you do is he whispers in her ear, you can't see it, and then she gets this look of fear on her face. Then you cut to Maeve and say, no, he wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I agree with you. That was the one part that watching The Boys that really pissed me off, because that's like my favorite Superman moment of all time, besides the not impressed moment. And I'm like, are you effing serious?
Because normally I think The Boys is pretty even-handed with the satire. Like, I kind of excuse some of its more cringy moments because they actually do make fun of everybody. Like, they actually do make a point of making fun of like all the people. So it's like, even the parts that I don't like, I kind of
Maeve's inclusive kingdom. I was like, yeah, there you go.
Or the fact that like they even made fun of the Khloe Kardashian commercial. You know, the Pepsi one.
Oh yeah, and they made fun of the Restore the SnyderVerse people release the Bork cut. My favorite is when they're shooting the Dawn of the Seven, and Homelander is reading the script, and he goes, "These Joss rewrites really bring the movie together." I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so like they're pretty on the pulse, and sometimes I will say my favorite scene from The Boys is the girls get it done scene from the end of season 2, because that is a moment where I feel like, okay, that's actually earned, because like
they're hyping that up.
No, it's like a girl. It's basically the Avengers A squad scene, but they actually do it right.
It's done better, yeah.
They build it up all season. They laugh at the girls get it done line. And all of a sudden, you have all two girls there.
Hey, crowd! And I love the guys. The guys are watching like.
And then Frenchie says, "Girls do get it done."
Yeah, exactly.
And it's such earned. It is so. And I love.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love how like the song they use is kind of like a Riot Girl kind of song. It just works.
It works so well. It's so perfect. So on that note, that's a good place to leave this one. Hope you guys enjoyed this rewriting of various types of superhero content. This was actually really fun, and I think we should do this on a few more movies. Like, we can rewrite The Dark Knight Rises. What we should do...
Oh, you think Darkness was your...
What we should do, what would be really fun, is to rewrite and modernize the Christopher Reeve Superman movie.
I don't know. That's kind of a sacred cow for me.
True. Okay, but the point is, this is actually a fantastic idea for future episodes, to rewrite superhero movies, even ones we like, but have some issues with the plot. Oh, another thing I would do real quick. We don't have to. That movie's perfect. So, by the way, here for this one, one more thing. The marketing does not feature Wonder Woman one bit. Because, again, I maintain this. Can you imagine that moment where she comes down and can you imagine how much that would hit? No. The scene where Doomsday first shows up and Wonder Woman's walking off the plane, and then the flight attendant goes, "Miss Prince." Can you imagine how much that would have hit if we didn't know Wonder Woman was in this movie? Here's what I would do: is I would show Diana like those early scenes, where it's teasing her in the marketing, where like basically most people can probably guess that it's Wonder Woman. Like the average person be like, okay, that's Wonder Woman. That's got to be Wonder Woman. And so it's like, but you don't say who it is, because like there's that like could it be someone else? Except don't show the picture of her in World War One, like show her throughout all these different time periods, but not the World War One picture, because that
for
gives it
example,
away.
Like for example, you know, like the scene where Bruce says, like, "Oh, there's not many women like me." Oh, you don't, you know, like that, like, or like where she's going in, kind of keep up the mystery, because that way, even if most people are like 99% certain that it's Wonder Woman, that moment when she says Miss Prince is gonna hit so much harder, because then you get a "I knew it."
Well, here's the thing though. Previous to that, they sort of key it up like she's Catwoman. Sort of in a way, because she's like sneaking into Lex Luthor's place, robbing, stealing these things. So can you imagine the biggest, like, subverting your expectation? You think it's Catwoman, she's walking off the plane, Miss Prince, and everyone's like, "Wait, what?" Sorry,
my mind. I'm thinking of Gal Gadot in the Catwoman costume, and I am happy.
All right, that would have worked, because she would have played a pretty decent Catwoman, I think. But still, can you imagine if we didn't know Wonder Woman was in this movie? They make you think it's Catwoman, and then Miss Prince, and then she comes down. That would have hit so much hard. It still was a fantastic moment, because I honestly did not think we would see the Trinity in a movie labeled Batman vs Superman. But still, it was like, if we didn't know Wonder Woman was in this movie, it would have hit so much harder.
Yeah, also, I would have loved if they would hint, like, right, kind of like second or third act, you know, it's like, you get the repeat of, like, you know, like, "I'm not Selena." It's like, "Oh, you've done your research," you know, basically saying to the audience, "I'm not Catwoman," you know, but you know, but also it's hinting that Catwoman does exist in this universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she could go, "I'm not a Catwoman," or something like that. In other words, you really say it?
No, where she says, "I'm not Selena."
Why would she say "I'm not Selena" though?
She did her research.
But how would that come up in conversation? Because Bruce would know she's not Selena, though. We could say Batman has not encountered Catwoman yet.
No, where it says, like, you know, where, like, there's kind of like that flirting going on. Like, he knows he's not Selena, but she says, like, "I'm not Selena," as in, like, "I'm not a cat burglar."
Mm-hmm. And then that's essentially telling the audience she's not who you think she is. And then Miss Prince, and I'm like, at that moment, by the way, in the theater, you could hear the theater going, "Oh!" Because a normie is going to be like, "Okay, so why is everyone shocked?" But us are going to be like, "Wait, did she just say Miss Prince?" And then it's like that one scene, and the thing about that scene in BVS where she shows up and helps them, I was wondering, how are they going to do that Wonder Woman theme? Because I mean, it's like, how is Junkie going to do the Wonder Woman theme? She comes down, that guitar riff, as soon as, like, and you see this, like, someone did their homework.
Actually, it's an electric, by the way.
Okay, but my point is, you hear the electric cello as it comes down, and it's just so badass, so warrior-like. Particularly as it swells, when she goes, "Ah!" She like charges, and I'm like, yes.
Credit to Tina Gao for that theme, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, need I add, there were two moments that sold Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman for me. Number one, when she turns around, and she goes, smiles, "I don't think you've ever known a woman like me." And I'm like, yeah, I love that. And then when she's knocked back by Doomsday, and then she just smiles. Because that was improv by Gal Gadot, and because she says, "I wanted you to be more like feisty and warrior-like," and I'm like, yeah, you get it.
That moment definitely, that moment definitely sold her for the fact that she was enjoying the battle. You know,
yeah, because that's what Wonder Woman would do. If she had a good enemy, a good battle, she'd be like, "I love this." Even in the new 52, when she's fighting Darkseid, she's like, "Come on, Giant, I'm getting bored." And I'm like, yes.
I could see. I want to see her fight Thor now, because, like, I could just see them, like, going at it and just being like, "Oh, I respect you. I respect you too."
Yeah. That'd be great. I would love that.
And then after the battle, the woman's like, "Oh,
let's go grab mead."
No. She's holding thing like this, like, "Oh, sorry you had to get beaten by a woman." He's like, "No, on the contrary, it's an honor to be beaten by someone of such strength.
And then they have an arm wrestling competition in a bar.
I think Thor would win that one.
In a meat hall. Okay. But, or that they also have like a contest who can drink the most mead, and she outdrinks Thor.
Yeah.
That would be
but
so
it's
cool.
Close. It's close. Well,
It's close. I don't know.
Oh, a foot race.
A foot race. But in a straight up fight, I think Wonder Woman would beat Thor. Particularly this version of Wonder Woman, because she's Zeus's kid, so she has an inherent immunity to lightning.
I mean, Thor is not just the lightning. He can, like, that hammer hits really hard.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. I'm not saying it would be like a shutout.
Also, if you're going MCU Thor versus Wonder Woman, if it's Infinity War Thor with Stormbreaker, I'm giving this to Thor. But if it's like pre Infinity War Thor with just Mjolnir, I would say Wonder Woman.
Or if it's Love and Thunder Thor, I give it to Wonder Woman because that Wonder Woman because that Thor is like even Ragnarok Thor, I would probably give it to Thor because that's when they significantly powered him up.
Yeah, I expect. But if you give him Infinity War Thor with Stormbreaker,
yeah, that I will give. By the way, the scene in the Rainbow Bridge scene in Thor Ragnarok where he's using swords and the lightning's wrapping around the swords, that may or may not have inspired a couple of things from my comic book. Just wanted to tell you there.
Dude.
Yeah, that was just, it lands and there's like, I'm like, yeah. And also the way they do it, tell me, brother, what were you the god of again? They just blast her with lightning, and I'm like, yeah.
Tell me you're gonna have a scene where Thunder Goddess, like he like boom.
Her name is Athena.
And then Athena, where she lands, and then you have like the lightning coming through her eyes.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I wrote it. There's definitely a part that's an homage to that. Yeah. So anyway.
Please tell me you're gonna have a scene from Avengers where like Athena's fighting like a Iron Man type characters, like power at 400%. About that.
Yeah, maybe. But anyway, so that's where we're gonna leave it. This was a fantastic episode. Drop down the comments, but first off, like, comment, subscribe. It really helps us out. But drop in the comments what movies you would want us to rewrite. It can be any movie, nothing sacred. If you want us to rewrite Justice League, I'd be like, it's already been rewritten into a better movie. It's called Zack Snyder's Justice League. But
Zack did the work for us.
What we could do is rewrite Birds of Prey better. After April Fools.
No, this is how you rewrite Birds of Prey. You take a butane torch, and here's the script.
And what we could do, Nick,
there you've successfully rewritten Birds of Prey. Is now
after April Fools, since you're watching Captain Marvel for April Fools, after that stream, we should do another episode where we rewrite that movie into a better movie and make her Ms. Marvel.
It's almost like you want to do an April Fool's month.
Recast her, or not even cast Brie Larson. But I love how Brie Larson was supposed to be like the center of the MCU, and now even Kevin Feige goes, "Oh no, the center is Kamala Khan," and I'm like, okay, but still, I'm so happy that Brie Larson's not going to be the main MCU person.
It's not going to be Kamala either. Come on, let's.
It's not going to be Kamala. They could put Sam as the Sam Cap.
They could try, but like honestly, I mean, this is a topic for CLD Dark.
It'll be for CLD Dark. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Nick, what can everyone expect from your channel?
We're finishing up the season 1 Avatar rewatch here soon. We might be doing a live stream. KOTOR ended up really not working out, so I'm trying to find a different game for the Let's Play, and then we're still doing Super Split Screen Bros. And I'm hard at work on Torrent Samurai. We should be finishing up the thumbnail stages soon. Jared, I've shown you some of those.
They look really good. I love them.
So yeah, that's what I got going on, just like Stacey's mom.
In terms of, for me, so we have CLD tonight. We have our Comics League movie night double feature tomorrow, where we're talking about Justice League versus the Elite, which is basically Superman versus the Authority. It's actually Superman versus the Elite. Then we're talking about Batman versus Robin, which is the Camus Court of Owls movie. We're going to talk about that. On Monday, I'm releasing a video talking about like why Wonder Bat does not work. That was a request by a fan. It's either that or another topic I'm considering. I'm not going to like reveal it, but probably the Wonder Bat thing.
You dare desecrate Wonder Bat?
Yes, I do dare. And then the next one,
I double dare.
The next Indie Wednesday is going to be another review of Crossover Volume 2 because I have 2 volumes of it. And also next week we have a very special guest coming on the show.
We're not going to reveal it.
We're not going to reveal it. We're not going to reveal it, but there's someone that's very big coming on the show that we're looking forward to. So, and by the way, you may see me on Sil Abdul's channel pretty soon because we have some plans
up
for
in
that.
the world.
Yes, exactly. So, that note, stay at work, everyone, and we will see you in the very next Rewrite or Remake